The world is headed towards a society, a global society, very much along the lines that was described by George Orwell in his book 1984. I'm almost hesitant to use the phrase the world is heading, because the world is to a large extent there. It's not a case of whether we are going to allow the world to go into a police state. We already are in one. The question is, how deeply are we going to allow it to happen? And the surveillance is not for the population in general. You know, if you read Orwell's book, 1984, you know, Big Brother was not focusing attention on controlling the whole of the population or monitoring the whole of the population primarily, because most of the population would just sit there and stew anyway. And were no problem to this control. That what this surveillance was targeting, and what the surveillance is targeting now, are people who are challenging the system, people who are becoming aware of what's going on and are having the guts to try to do something about it.
I remember coming here on the Great Central Railway when I was a kid from Leicester, and we walked up with my dad and my mother up there and looked across at Downing Street, right? Now you can't get anywhere near the bloody place, ironically, because of terrorist events that have been orchestrated by the very people that control the guy that's being protected, so we can't go up there and see his house. Crazy world.
Why are you asking me if I have permission to film in a public place that my taxation pays for?
David, it's all right.
No, hold a second. Do you know something? There was a time when I thought I lived in a free country. Your children are going to have to live in the state you are policing into existence. And when it's too late, you'll go, oh my God, what were you doing, Daddy and Mummy, when the police state came into power? I was enforcing it, darling.
Ask you to calm down, please. We've come over here. We're doing our job.
Please, don't tell me what to do.
You're not here to film us, are you? You're here to do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that one. If it's covered with CCTV cameras, what's the problem? Everyone's being watched, aren't they? I don't get... I'm
not going to speak to you.
No, I'm not going to
speak to you because obviously you've got a bee in your bonnet about it, so I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to get into it.
It's a simple question.
With you about
no, it's not an argument. It's a simple question. If CCTV cameras are everywhere, filming everyone here, what's the point of you coming down and saying what you're doing? You can see us, can't you? There's no answer in it.
David,
I've said what it is.
Got no answer in it. Maybe it's me, but that presses my button. It really does. Because, you know, this is supposed to be a free country, supposedly.
A harmless hobby or a potential danger to the public? Nicholas Ling is a keen amateur photographer. On November the 12th last year, he says officers from the Met Police stopped and searched him outside West Ruislip train station under Section 44 of the Terrorism Act.
I said, how come we stopped here? It's a public footbridge.
And you were only taking photos of the train?
No, I was, yes.
And what did you think?
I thought it was staying unnecessary, because it's not like I was vandalising anything. All I was doing is just standing here with my camera.
Nicholas's case is becoming more common, at least according to the Railway magazine. Its deputy editor says his postbag has been filling up with similar complaints.
The world and our lives are very different to what we thought they were before. We look at governments and various other political organisations, and we think that they are running our lives and they are doing it because we have elected them. But the truth is that all the countries are controlled by the same global network.
There's a lot of anger. It's not just railway enthusiasts, it's people in the street, it's tourists being hassled, it's students who are doing photography and architecture courses, and it's people just walking up and down the street who just want to take a picture of anything. Even MPs have been hassled as well.
So what is Section 44? Well, it gives police officers the power to stop and search us in specific areas without the reasonable need to suspect us of being involved in terrorism. Currently, though, it's being applied across the whole of London. The guidance to officers is to use it sparingly. The latest figures, though, show that's not the case.
into the darkness and into the night. We're off the tracks, we're off the lines. You and me seen better times. Now we're on the borderline, and I wish I wasn't here. People say it could never happen here, but this is a strange frontier.
Of a group of interbreeding families that go back to the ancient world and have been embarked on a process of the constant centralization of power in the world, century after century after century, where we've moved from a tribal situation where people in the tribe decided what happened in the tribe, then the tribes were brought together. Lots of tribes under things called nations. Now a few people at the center of the nation are dictating to all the former tribes, and now we're into this, very much in Europe, into this next stage, which is bringing the nations together and putting them into this European Union fascist dictatorship, because that's what it is, where a few people, actually not even elected politicians, but bureaucrats appointed, are dictating to all the nations of Europe. So you see the constant incessant centralization of power, and this is important because if the few are going to control the many more and more powerfully, they have to keep centralizing decision making so that fewer and fewer people are making the decisions and dictating to the lives of more and more people. And you know, when I started out on this journey consciously 20 years ago, if you talked about this, then people just basically laughed at you. Never mind going to countries all over the world, like the Czech Republic now. It just didn't happen. But because world events in recent times have shown people more and more obviously that this centralized global police state is real,
had some fun. Soon our problems could be known. We're on the skids, we're off the lines, we're out of luck, we're out of time. Now we're on the borderline, we're nearly gone under this time. People say it could never happen here, but this is a strange frontier.
If people don't like it, well, they just have to do the other thing, because this is how it is. And we either face it now, or we face it a little bit further along the road, when if we think it's not very good now, it'll be a bloody nightmare by then. It's time to lift the arse off the sofa and bring an end to this nonsense, because otherwise we're just building our own prison cell or sitting around while someone does it. Is that sensible? I think not.
Rise like lions after slumber in unvanquishable number. Shake your chains to earth like dew, which in sleep has fallen on you. Ye are many, they are few. When we figure that out, there goes their way of life.